Hello, everyone. Welcome to our live session. I'm Beyza Baykan. I'm a field marketing intern at Sizigi. And as you guys know, Sizigi is here to revolutionize the hiring process by making it more personal and giving us a chance to explain and prove our experiences and talents with an e-portfolio that we can build very, very easily. So before our session with Carl, I want to share with you guys. A quick demo of how to use Sizigi. All right. So I think you guys can see my screen. Here is my Sizigi portfolio. And this is my library. I share blogs on it. I also share videos of my skills. Like this one is a data processing one. This one is some project that I did. This is my Share Your Story contest video, and so on and so forth. And so it outlines all of my experiences. And this is, as you can see, so much more personalized than an actual resume. So, I want to move on to our live session with Carl right now. I am adding Carl to our stream. Hello, Carl. How are you doing?
Hello. All good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So I want to introduce Carl to you guys. Carl is a finance intern at Sizigi. Carl is also an MBA candidate, and he is actually a serial entrepreneur. He started Hugs, a great platform for international students, which we are going to talk about after our conversation here. So I'm gonna go ahead with our interview and ask you the first question, Carl. Are you ready?
Yes, I gotta be.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so our first question is if you could be sorry, this is the wrong one. Okay. Have you ever been to a career center to get your resume fixed? What did you think of the process of fixing your resume?
Yes. Well, first of all, thank you for having me. But to answer your question, yes, I have been to a career center to get my resume made and not really fixed because I just had to make a new one. I did this last year when I moved here actually to San Diego to start my MBA. I went to the graduate career student services center, the career center, to have my resume fixed, and I thought that everything was going to be set after that. I basically just got a template, and they said, well, this is what we sent to our students, and it was framed as a positive thing, right? So I go to the University of San Diego, and it's a pretty big school here in San Diego, and nationally also. But they said that, well, when you have your resume like this, at least in San Diego, when a company receives it, they know that you're a student from USD because it's like part of our brand, this formatting, and all of that. And, you'll have a better chance, and since we're a big school, et cetera, et cetera. I just had a template. I modified it. I had to end up going to the undergrad student services center to kind of see, what other input I could have after I got the first template. They gave me another template, and I just didn't know what to do after that. It just templates and templates all the time. And it just felt kind of a bit cold to me. It's just, use this, plug in your letters and your experience, and good luck. So that was basically my experience when I tried to do that.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. That that process is a very impersonal one, and it's like they're trying to fit you into one piece of paper, and it's just not, like simply not possible, especially for people who have worked so hard and who have had many experiences. It's like really hard to do that. So
Yeah.
let's go on to our second question. Our second question is, do you currently have an online portfolio? If you do, why do you have it? Or if you don't, why do you not have it?
Yes, I do currently have an online portfolio. It's not just because I'm an intern at Sizigi. So before even Sizigi was founded, I thought to myself, and I went to the career centers, and I just thought, well, how am I supposed to fit everything I do onto like one page? Do I have to put the characters at like 0.5 to fit everything? So what I did is I actually hired like a videographer and an editor that I had met through the school, and we made sort of an introduction video, and it's on my LinkedIn, and I used that for a bit. And it was sort of this hybrid of get to know me in under a minute, but you can see more of me than you would spend 20 hours looking at my resume, right? And also on LinkedIn, I tried to use it as a sort of online portfolio, because if you go to my LinkedIn, you'll see I list everything. I put a lot of media on there, so it's very like eye-catching, but it still wasn't enough. And then when I spoke to Tony, the founder of Sizigi, this year, sort of in February, March, when I was looking for internships, I saw what the company was doing. I was like, I completely relate, and this is an amazing mission. And that's when I jumped on board. And a lot has happened since then. That's when I first created my online portfolio. It also gave me a good place to support all my content. So not just content that I create to showcase what I can do, but also it's useful if you get featured somewhere else, right? So if, let's say your school, or you appear in your school's newspaper, there's nowhere really that you can add that onto a portfolio, but it's something of value. But in Sizigi, you can actually do that. You just plug in the link and it populates everything. You just add a few tags, and it was super convenient, super nice. So yeah, my portfolio right now is with Sizigi. And I started it before Sizigi, just FYI, but yeah.
Yeah, I actually think the same. I'm interested in the consulting industry, and I have applied to many jobs. And there's so much competition there, and like I can even imagine the piles of resumes just laying on the HR's desk, and I don't even know they even got to like read my resume that I put so much effort in. That's why I definitely agree with you, and that's one of the reasons why I also jumped on board with Sizigi. So I want to also talk a little bit about your personal accomplishments as well. So as I mentioned at the beginning of this live event, you have a project that is called Hugs, that is intended to help the international students like me, like you. So I want you to like talk a little bit about that for our audience.
Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity. So HUGS, first of all, stands for Housing Undergraduate and Graduate Students. So a bit of backtrack, like you said, I'm an international student. I first moved here to live last year for the MBA program. And I noticed that me, like a lot of international students, it was a real hassle to get started here, specifically for housing, because a lot of landlords will ask you for, a credit check or a social security number and all of that, but you don't have one because you got there, you come straight from the airport, right? So you haven't done anything. Yeah, and the process to get one is also not that straightforward for us, because you have to get a job or you have to do this. And a lot of people, come here to study. And it kind of didn't make any sense to me, because the process to come here, right, is so strenuous already. So we get vetted by the federal government to show that we have a clean background. So they run background checks on us, and sometimes even on our relatives. And they also evaluate you financially. So they see, like, in order to be here, you need to have a year's worth of living expenses in cash ready to deploy. So including tuition, housing, living expenses, insurance, books, et cetera, a plethora of things. So it didn't really make sense to me that I was vetted by the government, I was vetted by my school and all sorts of different institutions, and then when I landed, a potential landlord told me, well, I don't know if you can afford this, or I don't know if you'll pay me, or I don't know. Like, I went through this whole process and I tried to kind of explain it. It didn't really connect at first, and I saw that I wasn't the only one kind of experiencing that. So I thought, okay, maybe if I present this story or my story or this data in a way that they can understand, maybe they'll be more open. So what I did is I sort of devised a mathematical algorithm that calculates how sort of credit worthy or credit responsible or financially able a student is based on the documents they're already able to provide. And it gives an output that's similar to legacy credit scoring systems. So it'll spit out a 720 or a 680 on a scale that landlords recognize. So I thought if I could do that, then maybe I'd get a better chance. So I did it. And the moment I did that, I got approved the same day. And I thought, maybe that works. And then someone else tried it, explained the process, and got approved also. So I think there's something there that we're attacking. We won a couple pitch competitions that went really well. That was a lot of fun. And just kind of a preview, we're in a bit of a pivot right now. We're trying to see if we can address the same problem, like the core issue of getting started in a new country, for not just for students, but also for people who come here for work and missionary trips, because the backlog of data and documents is really similar. So it wouldn't be a stretch to kind of help them find housing, credit cards, services, even to get cable, you can't do it, right? Mm-hmm. Or get a phone plan at any major carrier, you just can't do it. You have to buy a prepaid SIM card. So, kind of on that road right now and exploring that. So we'll see what the next year brings.
As an international student, I want to thank you for taking that initiative, because we really need people like you for us to stay in the US and like feel as welcome as possible. And I also want to thank you for joining us today and answering all of our questions. Carl, thank you. Do you have some final words?
I just want to say thank you for everyone who's attending. If you want to connect, feel free. Just add me and I'll add you back and we can have further conversations if you're interested in anything. But I really want to thank everyone.
Yeah. Carl has an amazing Sizigi portfolio. I want you guys to go check it out. Is it on your LinkedIn page? Is it on your resume? Where is it?
They can write me a message and I can provide them access to it.
Yeah, that would be great, because I've seen your portfolio and it was one of the best ones I've seen. And I would like to thank everyone who attended this LinkedIn Live session. And I invite you guys to our next live session, which is on Thursday with Jenny Logula, who is going to be interviewed by our social media manager, Abby. You really shouldn't miss that. Thank you, everyone. See you guys later. Bye.
Have a good one.